It's engaging. It's Chattin' with Chelsea. She's daytime's new bestie. Here's your host, Chelsea Edwards.
Come back to me. I've got the feeling.
Hey, besties! Welcome to another episode of Chattin' with Chelsea. I'm your daytime bestie, Chelsea Edwards. Today's show is all about resilience and rising above. We are going to sit down with an inspiring author who's going to show us how to turn our hot messes into aha moments. But first, we are sitting down with an incredible heart condition survivor. She turned her struggle into strength, and now she's helping others recognize the signs of a heart condition and helping women stand up for themselves when it comes to their medical care. You have got to see her story.
I thought that I was doing the right steps. I was going to my doctor. I just knew something wasn't right. About a year ago, I realized that I was tired. In my spin class, I would become a little bit more winded than normal, but just thought, I'm getting old. I do cycling every day. I'm super busy at work. I don't sit down. And then I started to have what I thought was like anxiety. I knew it wasn't getting better and that I needed to do something. I wanted to make sure that what I felt was anxiety or it wasn't anxiety. In February, I went to the Go Red luncheon. I was there to support my good friend, Melanie, and got there and started listening to her story and thought, these are very much the same symptoms that I'm having, and it just hit me like a brick.
Welcome to Chattin' with Chelsea, Amy Doherty. Oh my goodness. I've seen more of this story, so I can't wait to share it with everyone else. What happened after that luncheon?
After that luncheon, I went home and started to feel panicky, nervous, just didn't feel right. So I called my mom and said, hey, can I come over and see you guys for a little bit? And she said, yeah, come on over. And as I drove, I just started getting lightheaded, thought I was going to pass out. I got to my parents' house and my mom said, let's go to the emergency room.
Were you still thinking like this is probably anxiety, panic attack, something like that?
So 2 months prior to this day of the luncheon, I had been to the emergency room and spent like 2 days there and was told that I was fine. So, you know, in the back of my head, I'm like, is this really something, or am I working myself up watching this at the luncheon? And so we went to the emergency room. They did, you know, my troponin test, you know, through urine, my blood test, and came back and said, your blood work is phenomenal. Everything is fine.
Because you were active.
Very active, very active, yes.
So then what?
And 49 years old.
Yeah, so everything's looking great,
Yeah.
but you're still feeling like there is something else going on.
Yes, I spent about 8 months of having symptoms.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so then 8 months.
8 months of just not feeling right.
Yeah.
Tired. I would get some chest pains. I would get shoulder pain. All the things. Not able to sleep at night. I would get up and I would take a bath to try to settle myself down, take another bath. That just carried on. It continued on, and used every bit of lavender oil that I could, thinking I need to do that. Went to an acupuncturist, was trying to figure out what was wrong.
And you were thinking still like, okay, since everything has come back clear, is it just signs of getting older and different things going on? So at what point did you say, I'm going to go to a specialist?
Well, that day, my second visit to the ER, the doctor told me to go home and take a Benadryl, that would probably settle my nerves. So I left there kind of wah-wah, thinking, wow, okay. And so I left there, and about a week later, when I continued to have the lightheadedness, just all the same symptoms, and they weren't getting better, I decided to go back to the hospital, get all of my lab work, and take it to a cardiologist that I had heard about.
Okay. So this is something someone referred you to, or did
and
someone
I
talk
had-
to you about
yeah,
doing
I had
this?
some friends that, went to this cardiologist, and I'm like, I need to know if this is anxiety. Because
Yeah.
if it's anxiety, I have some really tough friends.
Yeah.
Because they all say they have anxiety.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. So what did the cardiologist say?
He said there was a test that wasn't done on me that he wanted to perform on me. And that's a cardiac calcium score, which is a imaging test. So it takes like 4 minutes
Okay.
to do that.
Wow. So
And-
you waited like 8 months to get this 4-minute test.
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
so
ma'am.
we're going to find out the results of that test. We're going to
Okay.
take a quick break, and we'll be right back after this.
Ready to lose track of time the best way possible?
Rolling!
From the funniest videos to the wildest things online, we do the scrolling so you don't have to.
It's Usher. He had that synthetic hair melting. You hear me? Why y'all talking about that lady hair like that? Ain't he alone?
Catch us every weeknight, 7 p.m. Central on Fox Soul.
Louder for the people in the back.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices.
Like your text to emoji ratio.
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first round draft pick. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
Well, on Fox Face Off, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Face Off
We are given the platform here with no fear.
always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey, stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
And you interrupt me all the time.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
After multiple visits to hospitals and doctors, Amy Doherty finally got the cardio test that she needed.
Yes.
Okay, so what were the results?
Well, my doctor explained to me, the cardiologist, you want it to be 0. It's not going to be 0 for everyone. The older we get, calcium builds up in our body. So he said, I'm suspecting it's going to be 0 because all your other tests were fine. And mine was 900.
900.
900.
Okay, I don't know what the scale is, but 900 when it's
That's
supposed to
not
be
good. That's not
okay.
yeah,
Wow.
that's not good.
Okay,
Yeah.
so did he
Yeah.
diagnose you with something?
No, so he just, from that point, you go into a cath lab to find out if there is blockage in your heart or on the outside of your heart. And he said, I'm hysterical crying, and he said, it could be on the outside of your heart. Let's check, calm down. So we went into the cath lab, and I had blockage of my widowmaker. And 3 spots. So my vessel was in a S shape, and at every curve there was complete blockage.
Okay, so what is the widowmaker?
It is your main vessel in your artery, in your heart. Your main
Okay.
artery going into your heart, yes.
Okay, so along those
yes,
curves,
yes.
you had these
So-
blockages.
Your vessel, it should not be a curve, so mine was.
Oh, wow.
So the other thing that I was told was if I would have gone into had a heart attack, and it would have been very hard for them to put a stent in because my vessel was curved. So I never left the hospital at that point. Never
Wow.
left the hospital. Waited about 5 days and had my open heart surgery, single vessel bypass.
Okay, so they said that this is what we have to do. There weren't other
There
options.
was no other options.
Okay,
No.
taking you in. What was that whole experience like? Had to be tough, right?
It's very, very, very tough. I didn't know what my life would be. I didn't know if I was going to live. I live on my own and have children, and my parents are nearby, a very close family. And at 49 years old, I didn't want a scar all the way down the middle of my chest. But
What did your family say when they found
They
out?
were very upset, very, you know, shocked that that's where it led me to, you know, that, you know, we didn't think it was that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So you go into surgery, you come out, did everything go smoothly?
Everything went smoothly. Everything went smoothly. I spent 1 day in the ICU and another day and a half in a regular room. And day 3, I was able to go home. So,
okay. Did you have to go through physical therapy, or you just kind of gradually got back into?
Yeah, there's a little bit of cardiac therapy. They just want to make sure that everything is going and moving and all of that stuff. So, yeah.
Okay, so now that you're on the other side of it, oh man, do you get a lot of reactions like mine, where it's just like you just never know, especially when you have somebody, a doctor even saying, "Oh, these are nerves." Women and their nerves.
Yeah.
What's your reaction after all this?
I still struggle with recovery. Sometimes there's a fear. There's a fear if I, you know, am I okay? Do I feel a little flutter in my heart? Am I going to be okay? You know, there's still a worry, but on the most part, I'm good and blessed. You know, that I was at a Go Red luncheon, that I was able to hear that, because if I wasn't there, I don't know what would have ended up happening.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if it would have led to a heart attack and I wouldn't have made it through that, you know. So it was in my head, and then it kind of knocked me over the head being in that luncheon.
Yeah, so now you are working with the American Heart Association to get this story out.
Yes.
What's your goal by sharing what you've been through?
My goal is to bring awareness to women that this can happen to you. Like, I can't even explain how I would have never thought that, you know, I was cycling every day, I was working and active and, you know, healthy, and have never smoked, and for this to hit me at 49 years old, I would have never thought that. You know, and when people say, oh, it's probably anxiety, I feel that way when I have anxiety, and I'm like, that's a lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
You know, I have some really, really tough friends.
May need to follow up with that.
So, yeah, when it got done, that was probably the first thing that I said when they said, you're going to have open heart surgery, you have, you know, a blockage. I said to my daughter, see, I don't have anxiety.
Yeah.
And she's like,
I don't know. That might still be there, but we know there was a lot more going on.
Yes.
I mean, a major part of your story is that you continued to push because you knew something else was happening.
Yes.
So what's the message for other women out there when they, you know, they're accepting a diagnosis that they feel may not be accurate?
I would say, you know, to advocate for yourself. You know, if you know something isn't right, and I think women are really, really good at that. I think we have an intuition that if we know something isn't right, get it checked. And if you still don't feel right, get it checked again. Don't put it to the wayside. Don't think, oh, I'll be fine. You know, get it checked. You know, check your blood pressure. Know what your blood pressure should be. You know, get your cholesterol checked when you go to the doctor. Make sure you're, you know, especially once you get to be, you know, to me, over the age of 50, even though mine happened at 49, I think you should get a baseline of everything that's going on in your body and keep up with that.
And you have to prioritize it, right?
Absolutely.
We always have a lot going on, but you have to carve out the time for these checkups and follow-ups.
Yeah.
That has to be tough for a lot of folks, especially you were active and busy.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, I was telling them earlier that women tend to push things off. Like my doctor said to me, if a man came into to see me and he said, I'm having pains right here, I've got shoulder pain, he's like, I would have sent them to the hospital. But women tend to downplay that. Well, I really don't feel that bad. It's not, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe it's a 3. And, you know, not that I'm saying anything against men, but we tend to downplay that, so we don't have to go to the doctor, so we don't have to take time away from our families. So
okay, so really be real about that.
Yeah, be real about it when you go to see your doctor. For sure.
And everything you're experiencing, don't hold back, because you never know.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for coming in and sharing this
thank
story.
Thank you
and
for having me.
Helping a lot of women out there to go ahead and make those appointments.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you. All right, we'll see you at the end of the show, but we're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be back right after this. Besties.
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time.
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
I get the spiritual moments.
Chattin' with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
Ready to lose track of time the best way possible?
Rolling!
From the funniest videos to the wildest things online, we do the scrolling so you don't have to.
It's Usher. He had that synthetic hair melting. You hear me? Why y'all talking about that lady hair like that? Ain't it alone?
Catch us every weeknight, 7 p.m. Central on Fox Soul.
Louder for the people in the back.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
We just heard from a heart condition survivor and how she overcame her challenges and created a whole new purpose for herself. And here to help others make that shift, we got Clarendria Addison, therapist and author and entrepreneur as well.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you have made your own shift in life.
I
have. Tell us about that.
Thank you. So 2021, I wrote Shift, Keeping Your Focus to Maximize Your Potential. SHIFT stands for State the Problem, Heal and Help Yourself, Identify the Purpose, Focus, and Trust the Process. So when I'm talking about shifting, I'm talking about what I have been doing really probably for the last, I'm going to say 15 years or so after my divorce.
So this is tested. All right.
Tried and true.
So you've been through a lot of challenges, but the divorce is a major one. A lot of us have to shift after something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So divorce, family trials. Recently I just shared on my podcast about being drugged when I was in Jamaica.
Oh, wow.
And health-wise as well, just like keeping my own body, mind, and spirit together. So when I'm sharing about the shift is mind, body, and spirit. It is how you wake up and do your days, and not only outside of being an entrepreneur, but how you manage yourself. Because we can go to work and do all these things, but what are you doing for yourself?
Okay, all right, so let's go through it.
Yes,
okay, let's shift. Okay, so the S, you said.
State the problem.
State the problem. Okay, so in the case of, like a medical condition, a doctor will let you know, or in Amy's case, like she had to keep, pushing to get to the problem. Okay, so if you're not clear on what the problem is, like, what do you do?
So I feel like, for example, if we'll use the reference for Amy in her situation. Normally what happens is that we have to be our own advocates, right? And that's whether it's health, work, just life in general. So being able to go to the doctor and do your own research and say, hey, this is how I've been feeling. This is what I know to be true for myself, asking the right questions and not just sticking with one answer, right? If the doctor gives you some information, you can be like, okay, I have this information now, I can do some more research, maybe talk to someone else.
Okay, all right, so you have the problem, you stated it, what's next?
The next one is to heal and help yourself. And as we refer to when we're stating the problem, for again, we'll use that example with Amy with the condition that she had. One of the things that you want to do is be able to figure out what you can do for yourself. I'm a firm believer in telling people you cannot depend on somebody else to help you in a lot of situations. So you have to be able to figure out what it is that I need to do for myself. So the heal and help yourself is doing the research, asking questions, being an advocate for yourself for what you need so that you can get what you need and the resources that you need to feel better.
Okay, so let's talk about emotional hurt, like divorce. How did you heal? What was your H for that?
Ooh, so my H was really getting back to who I was. I feel like for so long I had dimmed my light. I had not been like the bubbly person that you see today that is willing to sit on the couch and have conversation and just really be open, honest, and transparent. So part of my journey was doing just that, like doing the work on myself. I have done some inner child work, which I talk about in Shift and also in some of the other things that I do, but really just sitting with self. Oftentimes we're looking around and trying to figure out things and food and alcohol and all these other things, but really the goal is to sit with self.
Were there things that you discovered in that healing process that you weren't aware of before the divorce?
Oh, absolutely. That I had to learn my voice, right? My, they call it the throat chakra. Like I really had to be willing to speak up for myself. What do they say, like the passive, people pleaser.
Yeah, trying to keep the peace.
Keep the peace. Yeah. Don't worry about it. It's okay. But I think that was the biggest lesson that I learned and how I began to heal in that process is to speak up. And I practice that with affirmations, daily affirmations. I talk about that all the time.
Okay, yeah. That's a muscle we could all work out more.
Absolutely. Yeah. Working out.
Okay, so next is I.
Identify the purpose. So what is it that you're wanting to get from this process that you're going through, right? We always have goals. They talk about SMART goals and things of that nature. So the I is identifying what it is that you're going to be working on, why you're working on it, and the reason behind how you need to get to the end of what you're trying to do.
Because that'll help power you through.
That's going to power you through.
Okay, all right. F, the good F.
Focus.
Like that F word.
Focus.
It's a tough one.
Absolutely. One of the quotes in the book I say is and that's my quote, to focus on what you can control. Because oftentimes in many experiences, people are thinking about all of everything else, the environment, people. We cannot control people. What we can control is ourselves. So that's the first focus. When you're focusing on what you can control you getting up every day, you choosing what you eat, what you put in your body, you choosing on whether or not you work out, full circle with entrepreneurship. We don't have someone telling us, oh, you have to be here at this time, or oh, you got to do this, or you got to turn this in. Like all of that is will. Like we have to have that will within ourselves to do that. So the shift is having your own will, finding that for yourself, and then being able to go through with it.
Okay, all right. I'm loving this. We are at the last letter, T. What's that?
Trust the process.
Trust the process.
It is not going to happen overnight.
Okay.
You will fail. You will, have some bumps on the road. I use this analogy of the heartbeat. So, in the picture where they show the graph of the heartbeat going up and down, right? So when we're down, those are, the rough times. We're trying to figure things out. When we're up, things are good. Things are flowing easily. The goal is, let's not stay down here for too long, right? In the past, where if you haven't been working on yourself, it might take you a month to get out of the, grunt that you're in or try to figure things out. Hopefully the goal is instead of a month, maybe it takes a week, maybe it takes 2 days, and it's shorter. So then those dips are,
okay. Man, heartbeat, that's a perfect visual for everything that we talked about today. All right, well, we got to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back with our final thoughts.
I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Let's see how far we can go. Love, your mind.
Ready to lose track of time the best way possible?
Roll it!
From the funniest videos to the wildest things online, we do the scrolling so you don't have to.
It's Usher. He had that synthetic hair melting. You hear me? Why y'all talking about that lady hair like that? Ain't he alone?
Catch us every weeknight, 7 p.m. Central on Fox Soul.
Louder for the people in the back.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first round draft pick. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
Well, on Fox Face Off, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Face Off.
We are given the platform here with no fear.
Always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey, stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
And shut the hell up. You interrupt me all the time.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Let's see how far we can go. Love your mind.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Chattin' with Chelsea. And thank you, ladies, for sharing your stories, helping us turn our struggles into strengths.
Yes.
Like you did. Amy, what are your final thoughts?
My final thoughts would be to, advocate for yourself, to let women know that heart disease is the #1 killer in women. Out of all cancers, all combined together, it is the #1 killer. So I always say, don't think it can't be you. It was me. Look after yourself and know your numbers. Check your cholesterol, check your blood pressure.
Yes.
Good.
Ms. Addison.
Thank you. I would say that the shift starts within. So make sure that you are doing all the things you need to do for yourself, working on yourself, spending the time with yourself, and the shift is happening now.
All right. And they can check out your book for more info, right?
My book is, if you go to Shift Healing from Scratch, that's all my social media handles, as you will. So you can find the link for the book, website, and information. I'm always sharing information about healing, about my journey, experiences, and things of that nature, mindfulness, all things well.
Okay, good stuff. All good stuff. All right. Well, you can keep up with us on social at Chelsea Show Fox. Thanks again, and we will see you on the next Chattin' with Chelsea.
I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that we can get help. Let's see how far we can go. Love your mind.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
Well, on Fox Face Off, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Face Off.
We are given the platform here with no fear.
Always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey, stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
And shut the hell up. You interrupt me all the time.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Hey, besties.
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time.
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
I get the spiritual moments.
Chattin' with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I know you're going through a lot. wonder if you know that we can get help. Let's see how far we can go. Love, your mind.
Honestly, I came home, I was in my Brooklyn living room with my roommate, and I told her, I was like, I think I want to make a makeup line. And she was like, what? What would your dream line be?
The Glow is on full display right here on Urban Beauty TV, the #1 destination for all things glam. Coming up on this episode, entrepreneur Alicia Scott represents for all shades with her makeup line, Range Beauty. Annika Jackson, co-founder of the 10 Nail Bar, talks about the beauty of creating the ultimate luxe experience in Detroit. International DJ Siobhan Bell taps in My Daily Beauty Routine. Dr. Mila Bennett answers questions on liposuction in Ask the Expert. The founder of BeatBib shares the simple idea that's taken her brand to the next level. And Beatrice Dixon sits down to talk about her multi-million-dollar